Electric, what's up, bro?
Gary Prakash, what's happening, bro?
Somber day, bro. Somber podcast, one of my sober days.
I know,
Low
right?
energy podcast, of course, because it's a day of mourning. It's been like at least for the footballing world. So yeah, that's how
Yeah,
it
man.
is.
It's crazy,
Legend
man.
died.
It's crazy. Yeah, man, Mr.
Not
Maradona,
just
dude.
because of the legend that he was as a football player, just a legendary man, a very legendary man, like very rebellious, always questioned the status quo. Very few personalities far and wide that have been so controversial yet so successful and have walked the line, managed to
Yeah,
win.
I think he was the original bad boy of football, Like he was so good that nobody could question him, but yet he was like off the field. He had so many antics of his that he was just, the perfect villain, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like the perfect anti-hero, like the villain you root for, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. But maybe we should give our viewers some context, because I'm sure a lot of our viewers, I mean, even like he's before our generation as well, man. It's just like,
yeah,
we
I have never seen him play in my
yeah,
years
yeah,
of
yeah.
watching
I've never
football.
seen
As we
him play
discussed, like
either.
we started watching football early 2000s. He was done by then.
He was done by then, man, but you always saw the highlight reels, you always saw, the mentions, the whatnot, that Maradona did this, Maradona did that, the infamous antics that he had, the like, especially like even on the World Cup stage and whatnot. And as soon as Messi came about, the first comparison that was made, it was made to a young Maradona.
Of
Because
course,
if you
Maradona managed Messi in one of his first World Cups, and he had said in a public statement that his left foot is magical, like mine was 20 years back.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it
man,
was
yeah.
like the perfect validation for Messi to arrive onto the scene, and he played some magical football very
Yeah.
young in that World Cup. I'm
No, but
forgetting which one it was. I think it was
even
2006 or
I think
2010.
2010, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
Because I remember he was the manager of Argentina as well that time.
yeah. That's when he said that. Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, he was. I mean, and not even just that, not even just the comparisons, but he was a very similar player because, he was one of those players with like that very low center of gravity because he was what 5'5", like crazy
Very short. Yeah,
dribbler,
very
yeah,
short.
short guy
Yeah.
dribbling through, just like it's Messi. So as soon as Messi came about, the comparisons were like a given. So
But I think Maradona was better, man. Like honestly,
I
you know.
mean, until we have some weird software like like they do in the movie Rocky
No, I mean what I
Balboa, we're
mean
never
is
gonna
that
know.
there is no player as consistent as Lionel Messi who's ever played the game. Not even Pele. Like so Messi is of course going to be probably the greatest of all time. Like
Yeah,
just because of the consistency level. But if you just talk about pure skill, right? Like pure affinity towards the football, natural skill. Like I think Maradona was miles ahead. And I'm not saying that. I mean, we only can speculate as fans. Like I mean, but it said like the best judge of a player is how he is, appreciated or stalked off among his fellow colleagues and players, right? So a lot of the players from his generation, like Gary Lineker, and because he's above Rio Ferdinand's generation as well. So especially Gary Lineker, there's a beautiful documentary that
yeah.
people can
He
go
was
watch.
he was in the 90s, man. I think he
Yeah, yeah.
retired.
No, on YouTube there's a documentary where Gary Lineker basically travels to Argentina
Yeah.
to meet Maradona after both of them have retired, and goes and meets his family, and goes and watches his a game with him in his private box at Boca Juniors. And he
Mm-hmm.
describes it last night during the Champions League games as well. But he has already spoken about all that in the documentary, which I'd already watched. So of course he would be sad because he was off the field. He was a very good friend of Maradona, and he says that at least in his generation he was like head and shoulders above the rest. Like no Beckenbauer or Bergkamp, or Beckenbauer is still a defender, but no Bergkamp. Of course, the 100% the best number 10 to have ever graced the game. Like
Yeah, but
100%.
he was a different player back then. At like in certain points of his career, he was a striker. In certain points of his
Yeah,
career,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
primarily an attacking midfielder. He was kind of like he was very adaptable in the final third. because of
Right.
his incredible dribbling ability and eye for
No,
goal.
and I also think that he's better than Messi because, the times that he played football in, like today, a foul is a foul, right? Like there
Yeah,
was way rougher play over there.
yeah, those were
Back
rougher
then,
times, man.
pitches
There was
were
no
tougher.
VAR to come save you or to give you a
Fuck
goal.
VAR, bro. Fuck even like, screw VAR. Like even
Yeah.
just in if Mane is like, twisting and turning and the defender is forceful, he gets a foul if he's in the attacking half, right? But that didn't happen back in the day. Back in the day, defenders were given a license because the attackers were given the benefit of the doubt, right? So you could have hip high challenges, for example, which doesn't fly these days, right?
No, and plus, because Maradona was so short that if you challenge him
Yeah,
hip high, it's like it's hitting him on his chest, Right?
exactly. But
Yeah.
still, like the point was that he played in a different time. Like he played football in a different time,
But
and the things.
despite playing in that kind of a time, he was the first player in football history to set the world record transfer fee twice.
Yeah, twice to Napoleon, then to Barcelona, if I'm not
No, no,
wrong.
no. It was first to
The other
Barcelona and then to Napoli. It
Yeah,
was it was
yeah, yeah.
a whopping £5 million or 50 lakh rupees. Sorry.
50 lakh pound, bhai. But
Pound.
yeah,
Sorry. Yeah. I
yeah,
don't think rupee was that strong even that time. But
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man. And then
So,
and then what? Like two years later, I think it was like 6.9 million pounds, which was crazy at the time. This was the '80s.
yeah, yeah.
This is like you have to be Harshad Mehta to afford this kind of shit, man.
What the fuck? Right.
Yeah, pop culture reference right there. uh, yeah, man.
Mm.
But so he's considered a Barcelona legend, but he was at Barcelona for such a short amount of time. Do you know that?
Yeah. I think barely 2 seasons, right?
Barely. Do you know why he transferred off?
Why? Tell
Okay,
me.
so let me give
Enlighten
you
me.
context first. So I
Right.
think he signed for Barcelona around 1982.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he was clearly one of the best players that they had. He was, the high profile player and whatnot. Now the thing is, he was loved by Barcelona players, and in fact, he's one of the only players of Barcelona to be applauded once when he scored a goal at the Santiago Bernabeu
Right, right,
by
right.
Madrid fans because it was such a
Mhm.
great goal. I don't know if you've seen that goal or not. It was just when like Maradona like dribbled past the keeper, dribbled past,
Yeah,
and there
yeah.
was just one defender
Seen that.
running.
Of course, I've seen that goal.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. And he
The
stops, and the
only other
defender
Barcelona
goes into
player
the
who's been
post.
applauded at the Bernabeu has been Lionel Messi. So
No,
yeah.
no, 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 dude. Messi's never been applauded. It's only
No, he was.
Ronaldinho
He
and
was.
Iniesta
He was. Well, as a kid when he scored that hat trick, like at
as,
away
as
at
a kid.
Bernabeu when he announced himself.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that one, but I know for a fact Ronaldinho and Iniesta have been applauded as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
even if
Of
Messi is
course.
involved in that or not, it's a very small bracket of players for their club. So anyway,
Yeah.
what I was telling you was, so at the end of the 83-84 season, what basically happened was it was the last match in the Copa del Rey final, which happened to be at the Bernabeu, but it was against Athletic Bilbao. Okay,
Hmm.
so earlier in his career, like in his Barcelona career, maybe like a year prior, he went through a lot of illnesses, a lot of injuries, and the most recent injury that he had was due to a rough tackle by one of the Bilbao players in the previous season. Okay, and what happened in this current match in the Copa del Rey final against Athletic Bilbao was that the same player did a very scrappy tackle on him again. Okay, and then when this guy squared up to him, he started giving him like those xenophobic comments because he's got Native American heritage in him,
Right,
Diego
right.
Maradona. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was a very weird thing, and he apparently so he stood up inches from that whatever Sola Goy I mean I can't even say his name, some other player, and then they exchanged words, and then it started a chain reaction. Okay, and
Mhm.
so there was like a big ass argument and stuff, and Maradona headbutted that Sola. Okay, and then he elbows another Bilbao player in the face, and then he knees another player in the head, knocking that one out cold. Like, can you imagine this little
Yeah,
five foot five
it was a
guy?
very rough game at the time, my friend. Like 100%. And I just feel that, the true test of like a player finally is, like how great, like greatness, for example, right? Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
comes
yeah.
from what you do under pressure in the big moments, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and
and
just to add more context to that whole situation, so that was the final, right? So
yeah,
this
yeah.
mass brawl was played out in front of Spanish King Juan Carlos and an audience of 100,000 fans inside the stadium, with more than half of Spain watching on television.
Right.
And the fans started throwing objects in the stadium
Yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
players, on the coaches, on everyone, and like the players are fighting. It's like 11 on 11, and everyone's fighting, everyone's going crazy. And like imagine the king of Spain is watching and it's going nuts, and apparently 60 people were injured in that incident and stuff. So after that, they had to sell him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember this. Yes, I know this. I know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Even
it
this is
was
in the Gary Lineker documentary as well. Like
yeah,
I
it was
watched that
nuts,
game.
man. It was nuts. Like, can you imagine being thrown out of one of the biggest clubs in the world just because you got
He's lived a
like
very crazy life.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
lived a
yeah.
very crazy life. And
He's
people
the
have said that
original.
he was troubled, Like he is an original gangster, bro.
No, no, no. He had. I forget what the Italian mafia are called, the Cocura or something. When he played for Napoli, apparently he had alleged ties to those as well. And
He was very, if you talk in the political circles, he was very close to Hugo Chavez. He was very close to Fidel Castro. He was very open about his views towards, the communism that Hugo Chavez was trying to bring about in Venezuela and wanted to bring it to Argentina, because he was so revered. He was worshipped in Argentina, because when you look at Hand of God and stuff, the Westerners talk of it differently, right? They say that he cheated England out of the World Cup or cheated Argentina's way into the World Cup. Right,
yeah.
but what he did in the span of those 4 minutes, where the second goal he scored against England, I'm sure you've seen the goal, probably the greatest goal of all time, right?
I mean,
Like,
that's the thing, right? Because those two goals are so contrasting. One of them just
yeah,
happens
yeah.
to be the best goal of all time,
Like you can
and the
go
other
from
one
cheat
is
to genius in a span of 5 minutes.
yeah,
Like he went from cheat to greatest in the world in the span of 5 minutes, right? So it
yeah.
was just like, it doesn't matter, I cheated, I had you today anyway.
I
And
mean,
but
yeah.
like I saw this in an interview. Argentinians culturally, they don't, because they're a developing country and they're not British, right? Like who's been imperialistic all of their sort of in all of their history. They don't look at the hand of God as cheating. They look at it as sleight of hand to get yourself ahead, because they have the more hustler mentality towards life, like the jugadu, if you want to give it an Indian reference, right?
Yeah.
So where they feel that you should work hard, you should be a genius of the game, you are great, but that does not mean that you can't do things that will outsmart others. So they look at it outsmarting the game and the referees because he's that good, rather than looking. So he's revered in Argentina. They don't look at him as a cheat, right? They and
Yeah,
because
yeah, he's a legend, dude. And
yeah, he could easily get into politics. So my point was that, yeah, like I mean, he's been a symbol of what every free man should be, apart from just being a
yeah,
footballer. He
he
used
lived his life to the
the
fullest,
chair that
man.
he
He
sat
took
on,
every
yeah, to have the
opportunity that he
luxury.
could take.
He YOLO'd much before it was cool,
Yeah, yeah,
basically.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So it's very crazy, because, as I said, very few personalities come about like that, and
No,
in any realm
and the thing
profession.
is, despite being infamous for a lot of these things, whether it may be the hand of God, the cocaine
Or his
allegations,
cocaine addiction,
he
his
he
obesity.
had he had an illegitimate son at one point. I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
read about it. It
Some
was
sort of like a lot of harassment claims, and like, of course, would go and
yeah, yeah,
fight
yeah.
everything.
But then, if you look at a club like Napoli, he like trust me, when he was there at the peak of his career, he was the best player of all time that they have over there.
Man, he
He took
single-handedly took Napoli to a Champions League. They haven't come anywhere close with that.
even to a league. That was the first
Yeah, yeah,
time that they
even to a
won.
league. And
Otherwise it was
that's where
dominated
I
by
feel that
Milan,
you prove your
by
mettle as a player. I'm sorry,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm
Go
saying
on,
that
go on.
you prove your mettle as a player in the World Cup. Historically, the World Cup talents have always been like, the next big thing, right? Like recently, we only
Well,
saw James Rodriguez.
at least it used to be at that time.
It used
Like
to be
these
like
days,
that.
it's more of the
It's
other way around.
increasingly decreasing, yes, but especially in the time that he played and all. But even today, the true test of a player, even if he's not a World Cup find, is to perform at the World Cup. Like you perform in the CL or you perform in the World Cup. Like, for me, Harry Kane's not going to be great or among the greatest, like the Maradonas, the Zidans of the world, until he doesn't take one of his teams to the
Hey
league
man,
or
but
to a
Harry Kane
Champions
got
League.
that England
If Harry
team
Kane
as
would have
far
beat
as he
Liverpool,
could.
right? If Harry Kane would have beat Liverpool and won the Champions League with Spurs in 2019, he was hands down the greatest English striker for me of all time.
But he
You
did.
understand what I'm
He didn't he get the Golden Boot at the last World Cup, and he was
saying?
England's captain as well.
We'll have to check. We'll have to check.
Nah,
He was.
yeah,
They
yeah,
called
I'm
him
pretty sure.
Hurricane. Yeah. They called him Hurricane at the time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. But anyway,
Captain Kane. He took the captaincy from Henderson.
coming back to
Yeah.
Maradona. Um,
Yeah.
dude, so at his Napoli career, so when he signed for Napoli and stuff, Napoli were nowhere on the calendar, dude. Like they were like nobody cared about them. It was the Italian football was dominated by what Juventus, Milan, Inter, all these big clubs that are still, and Roma especially. Roma were a big force at that point of time. So, dude, this guy
Yeah. I was going
comes
to
to
say.
Napoli, and at a time when there was a lot of tension in Italy between the north and south, and that it peaked due to like a variety of issues, especially due to the economic crisis and whatnot. Okay, so in 86, 87, he led them to their first ever Serie A Italian championship. Okay, and the celebrations, people went mental, bro. People went apeshit over there. Okay, like people started partying on the street like all the time, like round the clock and stuff. And the Neapolitans were doing mock funerals, okay, of caskets that had Juventus and Milan written, and they were burning them. Can you imagine? Crazy times in the 80s, man.
Amazing times, bro. Yeah, for sure. Amazing
Yeah,
times. Like
yeah,
we
and
live in
he's got
interesting times too, but those were crazy times for sure.
those
I
were
agree.
crazy, crazy times, man. So anyway, like despite everything, he's obviously revered as one of the greatest players of all time, and it's a huge
Sad day for
loss.
football. Yeah,
It's a
sad day for
sad day for football, whether you know Maradona,
even
whether you
for
saw him
outside
play
of
or not.
football. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
people don't understand it here. Argentina would be mourning right now. In Argentina, he was probably the most famous countryman ever born of that country.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be
So
declared
yeah,
a holiday today.
yeah, for sure. At least in Argentina, yes.
Mm,
People would be on the streets crying and stuff. Like a lot of
yeah, man.
people growing up, like he became a huge part of pop culture in that country, right? So people have all kinds of stories attached to just because of the sheer size of what happened once Argentina won the World Cup, right? Like it put them on the map. Like football is a great lever for nationalism and things like that, and even globalization in that sense. He in Argentina, like it percolated down to the slums, to Boca Juniors where he came from. It became like this dream story of a kid
Yeah,
who's born from nothing, and makes his way to the top of the world. Like he becomes a legend in the eyes of millions and millions of people, right? Like at a sport that not a lot of, like only the greatest have ever played and been counted among like those. So it was a great story. It was one of a kind story, and Argentinians have these things, like because what happened with Argentina when they won the World Cup, and those stories become sort of urban legend after that, because everybody can relate to what happened the day that they won, and things like that. So
yeah,
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 it's when the game starts breaking boundaries and borders and stuff like that. But yeah, man,
yeah.
sad day. I think
Sad day. But
I
that
think
was our trip
we
down
should leave it
memory
on a
lane.
on a on a
Yeah,
sentimental note. I don't want to get
let's
into the
get back
technicalities of
to
it.
current affairs.
Current
Oh
affairs.
wow,
Yes, sir.
Liverpool. You wanna take this one for me, man?
Man, I think we gotta seriously address certain things in the Premier League. We gotta address Mr. Pep Guardiola again, and we
No, no,
gotta
no. I
address
want to
like
talk about. I want to talk about Liverpool first, man.
yeah. I mean, in talking
How
about
do y'all
Liverpool, there's
win
a
3-0?
byproduct there. Right. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like, man, I think Jurgen Klopp is like, the best manager ever. Like he's the closest that comes to SAF. He gives us another CL, like, he's already like the best. Look what he did, man. Look what he did with nobody. Like we had nobody in that game, like there was no
Man,
Trent,
what was your defense? What was your defense against
against
Leicester?
Salah. We played a strong defense even then. We played
What?
Robertson, Matip, Fabinho, and Milner.
Okay, all the speculation I read before that match was that, oh my God, every single one of Liverpool's defenders have been injured. And then I saw a pretty strong defense, and I was like, what the hell is that about?
Man,
Like,
don't bring up fucking farmer clubs like Leicester City in the same conversation as Liverpool and Jurgen
Whoa,
Klopp ever again.
whoa. Big allegations are being made here, man. Big allegations.
Who the fuck are these guys, man? Like, get out of here, dude. Like, you understand? Like, I mean, don't ever question the guile of Jurgen Klopp ever again. Like, the guy is a genius, man. Like, you should have faith in him. Liverpool's in the right way. They're still the team to beat. We just proved that. Though we lost last night in the Champions League, we played an even shittier starting lineup. Like basically nobody was playing apart from Salah, who was back from like a negative COVID test and a shot in.
Yeah. So he's back, right? He's all good now.
He's back. He's going to be playing this
Okay,
weekend
good.
against Brighton
I
away.
don't need to take him out of my FPL then, because
Yeah,
I
you
just
don't
kept
need
him
to.
on the
I
bench.
put him on the bench last week, and I still did pretty well. So
Yeah,
so
I kind of fucked up a little bit on the FPL, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
we'll get to that. So man, yeah, that was a great game, man. Like we were at the top of our game. Liverpool was just doing Liverpool things. How else do I put it? Firmino deserved that goal, man. He came so close. I was so happy that he got a goal in the game in the end. Finally, Jota turned up again.
It was
And
at Anfield, right? It was at Anfield.
man, watch out! Yeah, watch out for El Diablo, my friend. Do not
You mean Jota?
underestimate Diego Jota. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Like,
a big fan
do
of
not
his.
underestimate him. Buy him on the FPL for the rest of the season. He's going to be playing a lot. I'm telling you, I follow Liverpool all the time.
I
He'll
might
give you
have to,
goals.
man. I went Aston Villa heavy last week, and they just lost to
Man,
Brighton,
Diego
man.
Jota is golden boot material. I don't know if he'll get it this season or
Nah,
not,
man,
but
he's not
he'll put
getting
a lot of
golden boot.
goals.
I think
Man,
the golden
we'll
boot is
come
gonna
back to
be.
this podcast at the end of the season if he's in the conversation.
Yeah, we'll dig through the archives.
Yeah, we'll dig through the
Yeah. Well, anyway,
yeah. How
what I
about
was trying
United?
to.
United had a good week as well. United had a good week.
No. I wanna address something before, dude. Aston Villa are the biggest bogey team of all. Okay, I had like 3 Aston Villa players in my FPL. They go and
Right.
lose to Brighton, bro. Imagine. They've been in
Yeah, and
such great form leading up to
they
this.
get a red card as well, right? I think you know why that happened. I
No.
think
Brighton got a red card, but that was at
Brighton got a
the
red card in the end. Sorry,
90th
no.
minute.
But I
Yeah.
think why Aston Villa didn't really fare well this week, or why they lost this week. Uh, at 11 minutes, Ross Barkley got injured. And basically Barkley and Grealish are essentially like the entire
So they're a
nucleus of this
combo.
team.
You're saying they're a combo. It's like
Yeah, they're a
without
combo.
one,
You
there's
can't
no other.
Grealish plays too deep to have to be able to make an impact on the game. The only time that he can go up and actually show his shooting skills and his skills in the box is when Barkley is supplying it to him.
Yeah.
So they tried, their fullback tried to play Grealish in, but Grealish had to ensure that he's controlling the game a little deeper and also playmaking. So there were a few people in the box and things like that. So I mean, Barkley got injured very soon. And then you've got Ollie Watkins. So he was feeding into Ollie Watkins.
And Ollie
because there
Watkins
no
was
Arsenal.
one person that I had my money on because I had him in my FPL because ever since Ings got injured, I was very confused. So I was like, okay, let's go with Watkins. They've got a couple of easy games coming out. I had Mings in my team. I had Barkley. I had Barkley before, but I took him out. I had Grealish in my team, and I had Ollie Watkins in my team. It was nuts, man. None of them performed. And what's it? Danny Welbeck scored against them, man. Fucking Danny Welbeck. I didn't even know he plays in the Premier League still. It's crazy.
Yeah, he did.
That's like insult to injury, man. Like, yeah. Well, anyway,
no, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if Barkley is back, it's not bad to keep, like, just to overlap the FPL discussion. It's not. I don't feel it's bad to keep. Like, I'm gonna retain Grealish. I was thinking of getting someone cheaper, like a good Wolves
I think I'm
player,
going to stick
so
with
that I
Ollie
could
Watkins.
upgrade.
I think I have some faith, but if another game like this comes about, I'll have to.
No, I don't know about Watkins, but yeah, I think you can keep Grealish because long term in the season he will keep constantly giving points.
No, Grealish will definitely.
I
but
did
I've
pretty
got
well,
Aston Villa
So
heavy.
I scored some 71 points or something like that. I think this week, and I had Grealish as my captain, and the bugger gave me 1 point. So I got just 2 points of my captain.
I had Kane as my captain and had Son also in my team, and Son was my vice captain. Like, I don't know why I did that. Son got
I
me
don't
10
know
points.
why.
Harry
I don't
Kane
know
got me
why
8
Son
points.
wasn't my captain, man. If Son would have been my captain, I would have catapulted. I already did, but I would have catapulted even further.
But I'll probably, I don't know, I'll probably be looking at my captains properly like in these coming weeks because there's a couple of double game weeks coming up. So I'm probably going to use my
People are
triple
buying a lot of
captain.
Chelsea players. I'm still not sold on that idea. I'm still
Bro,
stuck
I
on
bought
Tottenham and
Ziyech
Liverpool.
last week. And I barely got any points. I got like 2 or 3 points out of Ziyech.
No,
Nothing he
man.
did in
So,
that game.
Chelsea fans, we were supposed to do a podcast with a Chelsea fan on. We'll do it soon.
We
But
will. We
Chelsea
will
fans are
soon.
super. Chelsea fans are super excited about Ziyech. Okay, so like, but if you just ask me, like, of the African players in the Premier League, all right, where would I rate him? So Aubameyang, Mane, right? Then there is, I think, who is this is the African player Mahrez, right? And now
Yeah.
there's Ziyech, right? Like, I mean, in the attackers, there are these four, right?
Yeah,
And
he's
there's
probably
Naby
last
Keita
in
and
the
stuff.
Africa. There's
So I'd still put him
there's
last.
Islam Slimani.
He's not better than Obama. He's certainly not. Okay, Salah is also African, right? So he's not better than Salah. He's nowhere close to
Adel
Salah, Mane,
Tarap.
all of them. So I don't know if he's better than Mahrez or not. All right, like I don't even know that yet. Right.
I think he's
So
better
yeah,
than. Okay, no, I don't know. I don't know. I think
yeah. Would
he's
you
just
rate
about
him
as.
higher than Mahrez? Man,
I
Mahrez
think
is a
he's
crazy
just about
player. You
as
have to
good as
understand
Mahrez.
that. Like Mahrez did some legendary things for City to sign him from Leicester for not just one season. Like he did it consistently for 2-3 seasons before he got that transfer. So Mahrez has proven his mettle in the Premier League for the last 4 years. But I don't think I think Ziyech is like the worst African player in the league. But at the same time, Chelsea fans are so excited, and I
I
have
think our
seen him
guests
play,
from next week will
and
have
he is
something to
actually
say
very
about
good.
this.
And he's 27. He's actually very good. And he's 27. And if it has to be, it has to be a season, or it's just going to be nothing. Like so, there is no in
Yeah, man,
between with
he's
the
in
guy.
his.
Right? So
That's the thing. He's in his peak right now. If he's not gonna do
yeah,
it
yeah.
now, when the fuck is he?
When will he do it exactly? And
Yeah,
I'm glad that Lampard is playing him more often. At least, like my problem with signing Chelsea players on my FPL is apart from I'm going to try and make some money and space in a double transfer week to get Chilwell in. But my problem with the Chelsea FPL players are there's so much of rotation and Lampard just doesn't know who he wants to play. Like you
except
don't know which.
Mason Mount. Mason Mount is the
Yeah,
first
and
person on the
and
team.
and even though recently he's been giving assists and stuff, but I don't trust the guy, man. Like I mean, in comparison to the other players who I could sign, like
Are you
why would
talking
I
about
have Ziyech?
Ziyech or are you talking about Mason Mount?
Mount.
Mount, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mount is
Yeah, but Ziyech is
also
consistently starting. That was my point. Ziyech is now starting very consistently,
no,
so
because
you
he was
could probably
injured,
sign
now
him.
Pele. Pele was injured. That's why he
Yeah,
wasn't
he was. He
starting.
was.
It's just
He
he
was.
came and he had a good
Yeah,
run of
but that's
games.
also because Kai Havertz had got COVID, and like he's been sitting on the bench when he didn't have COVID when Ziyech was starting. So you never know. He drops form. You'll have to switch him again. And if
Yeah,
Lampard benches him because he has so many options. So
yeah.
yeah, I
All
mean,
right,
I'd rather go with a Grealish
let me
who's going
come
to
to
play week
let me
in week
come to
out.
United now.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
l- should we call it Manchester United or should we just call it the Bruno Fernandes show? Like, I mean, what a guy, dude! What a guy!
He
And
played a very good game, man. I have to give that to you for sure. He played a great game.
he's arguably like almost every single game. Okay, whenever he doesn't play well, he's still our best player. It works like that. So, I mean, again, there was nothing special about United in front of West Brom, other than maybe we wanted to win it like a little bit more because we dominated possession and we had like at least 10 more shots than West Brom had. But then again,
Right.
that should be the case when you're facing West Brom. It's that's the problem with United. It's like the should be, would be is never as it seems.
Right.
I was quite impressed with Tellez. I think he looked very comfortable, despite having
I
Harry
think that was
Maguire
one
on
of
his
the
right.
reasons why you also were so attacking. Like I really liked the game that Teles played as well. I watched
No,
the game.
he's very comfortable in his position, man. He's very like even though he attacks, he knows when to track back. He'll still be in a position where he's effective enough. It's not like there's like a gaping hole because bro, he knows there's Maguire on his right. Okay, he knows it. So like he doesn't track forward as much as he'd like to, but he kind of floats in the middle.
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
So he'll pick his moments right, but like so far he's been pretty good. And
hmm.
I don't know why Mata is playing so much in the Premier League and Van de Beek and all are not playing. But this is, I mean, what to say, dude? What to say? I feel like we had a much better game against Basak Tahir. Um,
Last
like
night.
last to last night.
Last to last night, yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty good game. Again, Mr. Bruno scored like 2 goals.
I saw that too, yeah.
I think
I saw that.
James got a goal after God knows how long. Sorry, Daniel James. What am I saying? James.
Yeah, that's what I was
Sorry,
wondering.
sorry.
But did he get a goal? I don't think Daniel James got a goal,
He
did
did,
he?
he did. He got one right at the
Yeah,
end. He deserves one, man. He deserves one. But then again, what to do? He just, he's like that one player who just has R2 on FIFA. Like only your R2
yeah.
button is working on
You've said that in the
Sky.
first podcast while ranting about
I
United.
can't stop
Yes,
saying it because it's just the same. There needs to be some sort of
right,
flair into his game.
right, right,
Excuse me.
right.
Yeah.
COVID cuff. Right.
No, man. But yeah, I mean that's again United. Nothing great. I mean, I'm happy that we win, but like
Man,
eventually, all he's gonna.
you get top four, and you should be popping champagnes, man.
I didn't know. That's the thing. That's what I don't want. No, I don't want top four because right now, what
Then Ollie won't get sacked. Ole, give
United
him
are
some
tenth,
time.
man.
Ole.
We've out
Jesse
of eight,
Lingard.
we've lost three. We've lost three, and we've
What?
drawn one. We've only won four out of eight.
Right, right. Man,
Okay.
you come up against a big team, man. I think you lose. I mean, City are shitting balls, all right. Mr. Pep Guardiola is like fucked, you know. He lost Laporte last season and he fucking ended 20 points behind Jurgen Klopp, all right. Klopp lost
Bro,
like all his
City
players in the
are
first
below
game.
United. City have only won
They
three
lost
games.
this weekend too, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, against Spurs, man.
Yeah, they lost against Spurs, right?
Okay,
Of course, yeah.
what do you think Mourinho's team are the real deal?
No, man, I'm telling you, Liverpool are the team to beat right now, right? So they're already
You,
the
you
champions.
think
Big
Mourinho
difference
is
with them.
not as great as we're making him out to be?
No, Mourinho is great. Man, if he wins this Premier League, Uncle Mo is back in the game, my friend. You understand? He's back in the conversation. Like, but the
But
point is that
what
yeah,
does that
like
say about United if
bro,
Mourinho wins it?
I told you about Spurs, right? That let's see, they won the first game of the five really difficult games that you counted, like in the coming 5 6 weeks that they have in the PL.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
if they don't slip up over the next 4 5 weeks, then yeah, they're title contenders
But
along with
this is
Liverpool.
the run that makes champions, right? It's now
Yeah,
or never.
absolutely, absolutely. This is the right. And yeah, to answer your question, what it says about United, I don't know, man. Like,
I don't think United knows. But
I don't think United know. Yeah, United know themselves. It's just that I feel the fans should just start accepting certain things rather than living in fairy tale land. Like all
nah,
this
man,
witchcraft
never,
we talk
guys,
about
never.
again.
Don't
He
listen
won
to
two
this
games,
scout.
scored eight
Never,
goals in
never
two
accept.
games. All is all great, and fans among themselves are divided. It's
Guys,
like
Ollie sucks. Don't forget it ever. Okay,
yeah,
and
do
don't
not
ever
ever forget
accept
that. Like,
mediocrity.
get
Remember where
Antonio
we were.
Conte, get someone who's won the Premier League as your manager and revere him.
Get
Don't revere
Ronaldo
a
home,
guy who's
guys.
like
We'll
done
start a
nothing in the
petition.
world. Yeah, like he's not a manager. He's a great player. He should have just retired like that. He should have died a hero. Like he's lived long enough to become the villain. So it's
Mhm.
sad. It's sad for him, basically.
But anyway, I'll put my money on Ollie getting sacked this season. Anyway, we had okay, Chelsea, Newcastle. Chelsea beat them 2-0. Mr.
Yeah,
Tammy Abraham, the odd person getting on the score sheet, but I believe he's been scoring quite a lot.
yeah. It's Chelsea versus Spurs this weekend. Again,
I think
a
it's going to be
great
a
game
more
to look
masterclass. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Lampard won the last one,
it's
right?
student versus teacher, right? Last time Lampard schooled him last season, right? Like
Yeah, I
the
don't think it's
student
going to
became
be
the teacher.
that easy this season.
No, I don't
Um,
think. I think Spurs are gonna win it, man. Like I mean, honestly, a great test for like it's a great. This is the game I'll be judging Chelsea and Spurs players' longevity. Whoever
Bro, I'm
comes clutch
scared,
in this
bro.
game.
I'm scared, bro. I think I'm becoming a Spurs fan, bro. If they keep winning like this, I'm scared, bro. I'm
A
watching too much good
Spurs
football,
fan.
bro, nowadays. Like I'm
Your
like
life has to be
it's
so
like I'm
sad.
starved, bro.
This is where your ad fans are headed now. No, so what I'm saying is, but yeah, man, Uncle Mo, I'm not going to count him out of the conversation, but like it's a big test for Chelsea and Frank Lampard. If they lose, man, then at least Chelsea are not title contenders anymore. It's Spurs. Like, I mean, at least being a Liverpool fan,
I mean,
defending.
Spurs and Liverpool are tied, bro, neck and neck, bro. Goal difference exactly the same.
Let's see
No.
what happens
Actually,
with
wait,
City.
their goal
City are
difference
just
is
5 points
better. What am
behind.
I saying? What am I saying,
Yeah,
bro?
yeah.
They've conceded less.
They've got huge amount of goal difference on us. Like because Liverpool don't have a
Exactly
very good
seven.
defensive.
Exactly seven.
Yeah,
I think you know what game that comes from.
yeah, I do. Man, Liverpool has these freak losses, but don't count them out to go deep both in the PL and CL. Like they had the freak loss last night, and they had it against Aston Villa. It's because of the injuries, and it's a weird season. Playing in the middle of a pandemic. Other clubs are going to face these problems that we've faced already soon as well. Players aren't going to be able to play so many games. There will be players going out on
Bro, I
COVID and
think
things like
I
that.
think that I think Leicester will slip. But I think the top three is on lockdown right now. I don't think it's gonna change. I think Leicester are not gonna be there by the end of it.
So
Um,
no, but top three, you don't know if it's City. City might have a shitty season, and or they're just 5 points behind. It's still early days. They might gain consistency. It's about how you
अरे
end the
नहीं
season.
dude, नहीं होएगा,
I
नहीं
don't
होएगा
know.
bro.
They
They're
have the
not
goal
5 points
scorers and
behind.
all.
They're 8 points behind. No, actually, they have a
Okay,
game in
now
hand.
they're
They have a game in hand.
yeah. So then they'll be 5 points.
Yeah, but then again, um, there's another team just creeping up the table. Um, it's called Mr. David Moyes' West Ham United, bro. Who would have thought?
They're playing Aston Villa this weekend.
Arey,
Again,
I'm
very
putting my money
interesting
on
game
Aston Villa,
to
but
judge
but then
both those
again, but
teams.
then again, Moyes' team is ahead of Manchester United. Can you believe it? In
And
2020.
United fans still want to be pompous about it. You understand? Like, bro, my problem is not all football clubs go through problems. My problem is the stupidity of United fans, especially Indian United fans. Sometimes I get irritated at
Man,
how
no, no, no. I love my
unacademic
United
football
fans.
discussions can get.
I love my fellow
I
United
get
fans. But at
loyalty,
the
but you
same
have to
time,
be
no, no, no.
objective
But
at
at the
some
same
point.
time, yeah, I will give it that there is a moment to be, to be objective about it, and there's
Yeah,
times
thank you.
to be optimistic. And the thing is, I think we've tried to be optimistic for so long that we've been stabbed in the back every single time. I feel like it's just we're
That's
trying
true.
we're making we're trying so hard for this to work out. We just want that fairy tale, but I don't think it's coming. I think we need a plan. But anyway, um, you want to talk about the fixtures that are? Oh, one other interesting fixture:
We just spoke about a
Fulham,
couple of the fixtures that are upcoming.
Fulham, and Everton. Man, Everton are looking pretty good. Man, that was a great game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin again.
Yeah. He gave me a lot of points again. Yeah.
Same, bro. I think everyone has Dominic Calvert-Lewin, bro. I think we need to.
Some
I
people
think,
don't. Some people don't. But yeah, like
what are
a
you
lot
guys
of
doing, man? What do you guys gotta put DCL in your lineup?
I didn't remove him, man. I didn't remove him. VP told me that I think DCL got lucky during the start of the season, and you never know. He still might be right. Maybe there will come a slump.
No,
He
bro.
can't
I
keep
think he's the
scoring.
real deal.
If
I
he
think
keeps
it's.
scoring every goal, if he keeps scoring at the rate that he's scoring right now, he'll be on track to breaking fucking Salah's record. I don't have my money on that shit. Sorry.
But bro,
You
it's
can't
been
score more
nine
than
weeks
30
now.
goals
It's
in a
been
season.
9 weeks. He's what scored what? I don't know,
10,
12,
11, 11,
12,
12
11,
goals.
11 goals. Good enough, bro. Good enough.
Yeah, if he comes up if he comes up with a 30 goal season, man, like he's gonna go down in history and shit.
I
So
think it's
let's see.
doable,
Let's
bro. I think it's doable. There's what 28 more game weeks to go. If he stays fit, I think it's more than doable.
but
Okay,
a lot of
let's talk
people are
about let's
scoring a
talk
lot of
about
goals. Like Son and Salah are not very far behind. So
speaking of scoring goals. Let's talk about the fixtures coming up. Okay, let
yeah, we
me
spoke about a few of them.
no, the
We
ones that are
spoke
coming
about it.
up now.
Yeah, we spoke about. So there's Chelsea Spurs this weekend. We spoke about. There is the other game that we just spoke about, man. Is Villa and West Ham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool play Brighton. I think away. It's going to be
Yeah,
quite
I've
a
got I've
cakewalk.
got the list in front of me. So it's City Burnley. I think City should win that comfortably. It's Crystal Palace Newcastle.
Yeah,
Um, I think Mr. Wilfred Zaha can have a big impact on that one.
yeah.
Brighton Liverpool. Who are you going for, man?
I think it's going to be an easy afternoon for Liverpool, man. We've got all our players fit, so it shouldn't be a problem. I think
Okay.
Jurgen Klopp rested everybody over the CL game we lost, so we're going to have like Robertson back, and we'll have all our attackers back. So I think high pressing games will wrap it up early, rest some players for the next CL game.
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds good. Um, Everton Leeds. That could be an interesting game, man.
Interesting game. Yeah, interesting game. I was looking forward to this one.
Man,
Very interesting game.
Leeds are quite a mixed bag this season. I mean, not mixed bag. I mean, they're overperforming definitely by miles because they've
Yes,
just been
absolutely.
promoted. But then again, man, I don't know, man. Like, should you get behind the Leeds train or should you not? Bit confused, bro.
I mean, you should get behind the Bamford train for sure. I don't know if you
Bamford,
should get behind
you're
the.
saying Patrick Bamford is the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
man.
he's a good buy. He's a great buy for sure. Yes, yes. He'll come off using your bench boosts later in the season as well.
Differential, I think
Yeah, yeah,
that's
big
what
time
we're looking at.
differential. Especially in the weeks you play your chips if you play them right. So
Okay. Possibly the
tough game for
biggest game.
United, my friend.
Yeah,
Tough
yeah, yeah.
game for
Biggest
United.
game next. I mean, sorry, this weekend.
Southampton away. Man, I got my
Man,
money on Southampton for this. Southampton are playing
who
well. I
knew
feel like,
who knew that in
not
2020 this would be a big game?
yeah. What I'm saying is like I mean I feel like United like they have all the firepower in their team and they play great against teams like Başakşehir and who did you beat over the weekend, man? I'm so sorry.
Başakşehir only. Sorry,
No, no,
West Brom,
no.
West Brom.
West Brom, right? So you can
West
play
Brom
against
won
those teams.
19th, by the way. Who have, you know how many wins
But,
West Brom have?
but
Zero.
I like that game that you came out you won against Everton. That was pretty clutch. I think James was not playing, or was he? I don't know. But I think he was. That was pretty
Doesn't
clutch.
matter, man. It doesn't matter. Like honestly,
So, but man, I
United
think
win games where
it's
we're
going to be a
supposed
tough
to not
game.
win.
I wouldn't. I think Southampton can win it easily if they play well. They're playing very well. Danny Ings is not there. Even then, they're scoring a lot of goals. Ward-Prowse is in the top of this game.
So let me
Che
give
Adams
the
is from so
viewers
forth.
some context. So United right now sit in 10th place with 8 games played with 13 points, and Southampton sit fifth with 9 games played and 17 points. So even if United win this game, we're still not getting up to Southampton. Um,
Yep.
but I don't know, man. I mean, they've definitely won more games than we have. But Ings is no longer there, right?
For a
He's not a
while, I think.
problem. Yeah, for a
Yeah.
while he's not there. Now, I don't know, man. It's
You
a
know,
bit
you know what they call the Southampton manager, Ralph Hasenhüttl. You know what? He's German. You know what they call him in Germany?
what?
They call him the Jurgen Klopp of the Urals because that is the place he comes from. But they're like he's so similar to Jurgen Klopp. He looks like him as well. So they call him
Really?
like a small copy of him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When
Oh,
he joined
I'll
Southampton.
have a look. I haven't seen him
Yeah,
like itna gaur
yeah, yeah,
se.
yeah.
But
So maybe he's showing his colors now. You understand? his
yeah,
true German footballing
what was
mind.
Southampton's last game? They drew with Portugal in their last game. Sorry,
Uh,
Wolverhampton. Wolverhampton. I meant
Portugal.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah,
uh,
I was expecting them to lose that game, because Wolves are
yeah,
very strong this season. Like I
Wolves
think
are
Wolves are better than
Wolves are a
England.
crazy team, bro. I would definitely, like if
I think
we
they're the
were.
you can get onto the Jimenez train, you can get onto the
No,
Podence
bro, I'll
train
be very
very
honest
easily.
with you. If back in the day, there used to be these this one, like there used to be big clubs who buy multiple players from one club. It's like a package.
Right,
Like
right.
PSG bought Zlatan and they bought Thiago Silva from AC Milan back in the day. I remember.
Yeah,
So there
yeah.
used to be these
Even
like
Liverpool
hamper,
bought so many Southampton players, right?
yeah, these hamper offers, like दो तीन players साथ में ले लो. Dude, like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah.
love to rate Wolves. I'd love to take Neves, Jimenez, even Adama Traore, or
Traore, yeah, yeah. All of them,
or
man.
even
They've
even that
got so many.
Jao
Semedo,
Yeah, Semedo, Jao
João
Moutinho.
Moutinho. Moutinho is
Although
now
Jao
old.
Moutinho is a bit old, yeah, but still classy player, bro. He's like one of those Silva type players. He doesn't need
Yeah,
that pace and whatnot, but you get the picture, man.
yeah, 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 yeah. They
But
have a lot of Liverpool players as well. They have an ex-Liverpool player. Like they've got a Merseyside, like a Liverpudlian. This guy called Connor Cody, who's their captain.
yeah,
Uh,
Cody.
yeah, he's their captain. So he was transferred from Liverpool. Now Liverpool, when they got Jota from there, they gave them one of our youth academy defenders, Key Hover.
Bro, I love how you always know which one is the scouse in the team. Like always.
Yeah, man. The influence, right?
Or
It's
ऐसे
all.
तो next time I'll be like, oh, Johnny Evans scored for Liverpool that day because he's a United player. See,
He's a
he's
United player.
on the score sheet again, a United player and whatnot. Fucking, this is what I have to
Yeah.
start doing these days. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I know of all these causes
but yeah,
for sure.
what is your prediction for this game?
What game is this? I'm sorry, I got lost.
We're going United Southampton.
Oh, I think a draw, man. I think a draw, much like Wolves and Southampton. I think it would be like a
Mm,
1-1 draw or 2-2 draw, maybe.
I don't know if I can predict the scoreline, but I can predict who will score and how.
Man, like United, like I don't
Bruno
think they'll score a lot
Fernandes
of.
penalty.
Yeah, yeah. So if he scores a penalty, it can be a 1-1, or maybe United make it 1-0, or if you guys don't get a penalty, which is highly unlikely. So maximum 2-1 if Southampton play really well. I don't
I
expect a
think
high
I
score.
think Bruno Fernandes penalty and United will win.
Right, right.
I think this is the
I
comeback.
don't expect a high scoring game though. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring
I don't expect any high scoring game when United plays this season. Sorry guys, I love United, but I still you need to know when the club's being bad to you and
United
when things
fans are
are
going to
fuck all.
boycott you, man.
It's okay, guys. It's okay. It's okay.
It's
You
all
guys
right,
will know
man.
soon
It's all
enough. Okay, I've just
right.
turned sooner. Um, yeah, we'll get like an actual like passionate United fan one of these
Yeah,
days.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm
And
just
get him to fucking fuck you, and then I'll fuck him. I'll
yeah,
show him how much of a
it'll
power
be
club
like a
we really
weird
are.
weird love triangle,
Yeah,
love
yeah,
hate triangle.
yeah.
Liverpool, one United fan, one anti. I mean, I don't know if you can call me an anti-United fan, but yeah, you get the line.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Realistic United fan is where I'd go. But
So I
yeah,
think
other
that's
than
it.
that,
Those are the
yeah,
big
other than that,
fixtures.
there's
There's
no
Arsenal Wolves. I think Arsenal are going to lose, man. Arsenal
bro.
Wolves.
Arsenal are tactic.
Bro,
There is a tactic.
yeah, man, I have to give that to you. So you were saying that like Arsenal are a dud team and stuff like in our previous podcasts, and I
Didn't
was
they
like, they'll
draw
be no.
goalless draw with
No,
Leeds?
they've lost and drawn since then. Like, I don't have any faith in Arsenal,
Aston
man.
Villa 3, Arsenal nil. The only club they beat is United, and that's not counted.
Man, I don't think Arsenal like they're
Like
not coming close to that
United turn
push.
up or not is like a roll of a die.
Like among
Okay.
the top six who required rehabilitation, I think Arsenal and United are in the worst place possible. And believe me, I think United
Hey,
are in a worse place
listen,
than
listen.
Arsenal.
United may be bad, but we're no Arsenal. Okay, don't go there.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, United are in a worse place than Arsenal.
No,
Like
no,
I mean,
no,
if
no, no,
Arteta
no,
sticks around for 2-3 years, at least like he can do something. Like you don't even
no,
he's
no,
trained
no.
under
United
Guardiola.
are United are a lot better than Arsenal. Please, I would never accept the fact that United,
Well, you have better players. You
Even
have
though
better
Arsenal beat
players.
us, we are not a shit club. Those guys have been shit since 2004. Okay,
Right, right.
we're just in a tough patch. We're just
Yeah.
having to drink a lot. We're just having
Yeah,
to
well, that's
cry
true.
a
They have
lot.
been shittier for
But
long. That's
we'll be back, guys. We'll be back. But
true. Right,
anyway,
right.
on that
So I
note,
think Arsenal are going to lose.
yeah, I think
Chelsea,
that
Chelsea Spurs is the pick of the fixtures, man, this week. Chelsea Spurs. That's it. That's the
yeah, I
game.
think that's gonna be the big game. But anyway, I think we've covered most of it. Is there anything
Yes,
else
we
you'd like to
have.
add?
No, no, not really, not really. May Maradona's soul rest in peace, mainly.
Yeah, man.
That's the big
Tough day for everyone.
topic.
All right,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
please
We look forward to the
don't forget
fixtures, and we'll
to
be back.
yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Something that GLight can't remember to tell people. Okay.
Couldn't care anymore. Right.
We're trying to keep these videos coming out at
As
like a
short
steady
as
pace
possible.
and shorter due to requests. But anyway, guys, we'll catch you again next week. Hopefully with a Chelsea fan on board, so we
Yep,
can
yep.
get a little bit more of an opinion. But anyway, that's that.
All right. Peace out. Peace
All right,
out.
peace
Bye
out,
bye,
guys. Bye.
Electric. See you, man. Bye.
See you, bro.